just building up the braces. These guys, which will act as like our, it'll hug the boat together so that when we saw out the cradle, it won't want to teeter either way. And then I thought that was all we were going to do. And then Garrett just starts cutting away the cradle. So it's actually really exciting. So yeah, let's go check it out. You gotta warn me when you're going to do cool like that. Oh. What are you doing? Tired of the cradle being here or something?
Yeah.
It was time. With our truck date approaching, we had to remove the cradle in order for the truck to back up and straddle the keel for loading. Garrett smash! But I couldn't let Garrett have all the fun. I do another one.
Go for it.
This is like the best part. Don't laugh at me.
You gotta put it on, you gotta have something under actually frying it.
So the day originally started with the task of building new stands, ones that would have the base further away from the boat, so the big 18-wheel truck could fit. What?
You want to gas up the generator?
Yeah.
redhead, mess bed, tear shed, queen bee miss squeeze. The stage smells, tells, hells, bells, misspells, knocks me on my knees. It didn't hurt, flirt, blood, squirt, stuff, shirt like me on a tree. After I count down 3 rounds in hell, I'll be in good company.
So where were we? Oh yeah, Squab was hard at work cleaning up the property. With With his Sawzall on loan, thank you Rod, Garrett made quick work of removing the cradle framework. To get the cradle out, we actually had to lift the boat up, and Redaviva's no twig. We used 2 screw jacks, thank you Mark, for extra security, and 2 20-ton hydraulic jacks, thank you Jim, for our lifting power. We have no way of knowing how heavy she is, but the plans put her at roughly 28,000 pounds when finished, so Garrett estimates at this stage she's probably around 10 tons or less than 20,000 pounds.
As soon as we can pull the plywood out from underneath the keel, which probably going to be
pretty
very
close
soon. I'm going to saw the forward one out first, and then we'll see how much material we have at that point. Cut it into chunks. I only think we really need 3 blocks under the keel. So we'll see also, because at some point as we come up with the boat, we're going to be completely off of these guys and completely on these guys. The last thing that we do will be just saw out just the rest of the cross beams. Yeah, even if we get it up high, like an inch or so above these beams, when we set it back down on the new blocks, I'm sure it'll end up below these guys because the ground is somewhat soft.
That was another support. As we raise the boat, don't worry.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
All those creaks and cracks are from the wood spacers and new blocking under the keel, not the hull. We came up almost a full inch before her weight was off the cradle, enough to saw away the beams.
First one.
Cool story about the wood that went into making the cradle. A local guy had this standing dead white fir fall in a storm, and since there's no market value in this timber, Garrett worked a day on his milling operation in exchange for lopping up the tree into 4x12 beams for our cradle. He lopped it up again in squares to use as our new blocks under the keel. You're welcome.
One aft is good already. So we got
One more in the middle.
Yeah. So we got 2 fat blocks left. We got that guy. Thank you. Last one.
Baby cradle.
Yep, officially. Yeah, not on the cradle.
You got a little sawdust in your other side. Almost. There you go. There you go.
Stay clear of the boat at all times.
Okay, I'll film from back here. Garrett's nerves had to remain on guard as he lowered the boat back down onto her new blocking.
Middle one's clear.
3 more to go. think our countdown is like, see what's today, I think like the 6th or something, and we're leaving on the 18th. So we're getting close. We're probably down to like 10 days realistically, maybe even down to 7 days of possible work cleaning up the property. And yeah, it hasn't been super easy, I guess, because I don't know, it's kind of mixed emotions. I guess for me it's like, of course, overly exciting because we're leaving, and like I love moving, and getting to the next stage, you know, is awesome, but it also means closing sort of a chapter of, I mean, really like my life, a chapter of our life here. You know, 2.5 years is the longest place I have lived since I left my parents' house 2 days after I turned 18. So I don't know, it felt like, I mean, we were here for a while. This was home, and but I'm happy to you know, be transferring that home feeling to the boat, and the boat's coming with us. So, you know, really we're not leaving home. But it's been kind of weird. I feel like a little bit, it's difficult to pack up the trailer and move out of the trailer, and it feels like I've just been dragging my feet, and I don't really know why, to like even cleaning up the property. And I guess part of it, yeah, is like, it also means leaving. And I know Garrett feels the complete opposite. So in a way, it's, I guess, a good thing, because he feels so opposite on it. You know, he's ready to be packing things up, putting them in boxes, and, you know, start demolishing things. Like, he just took down the outhouse, which is actually really nice because we're both done using an outhouse. You know, you think a marine head is bad, but there's nothing like watching the whole film. So I don't know if you can see this, but I think he's gonna rip out the outhouse.
They're ready.
Alright.
So sick of pooping in that thing. And out it came. Haven't seen you smile that big in a little while. Yeah, you get it too, Swab. Liberating.
I don't know if you noticed the dense fog or heavy haze, but it's actually smoke from 65,000 acres burning on the other side of the river. So thick, you could actually stare right at the blood orange sun. With the west coast on fire and the east coast under siege from wind and water, our trucking date got bumped to the following Wednesday. Unable to stand around for another week, Garrett started constructing our main cabin hatch.
just kind of roughed out right now. But later on I'll trim all the overhang and clean the caulking seams up a little bit and caulk it, sand it, and oil it.
Since we still had to pack everything up, we transported the project over to our neighbor Mark's place.
You get that tree swab.
Got some mouse bit through it right there.
Kind of looks like small intestines.
Now I have a bunch of short lengths because the mice just chewed through it at random spots. So
Look at all this fantastic bedding that we just have. So what you up to?
Using our mouse poo covered caulking to caulk our companionway hatch. It's all scraggly and torn up by all the mice that have invaded our living space. I really love to make bedding out of it. Anyway, just putting some caulking in the new companionway hatch. I decided just to plank it because it's fun.
Because it's pretty.
Because I like planking and caulking and it looks cool. So
Yeah, no, it's gonna look really cool. So the wood that you're using is the
it's all Douglas fir. Stuff
from bottom planking?
yeah, some leftover stuff from bottom planking. Stuff that we got a long time ago, just been kind of sitting around. But yeah, it's all real nice vertical grain stuff. Probably just gonna oil it up, except for the termites in the corner.
I think it looks cool.
I don't.
You're like, don't look at the termites.
Yeah.
They're not there anymore. It's proof that it was repurposed.
But yeah, just doing some quick and dirty job of caulking the seams because it's just a hatch and it's not that important. Caulking mouth is all shrunken up from the summer heat.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, kind of falling apart.
What music is that I hear? Something to try and make you feel at home.
come with the razor blade and slice like the excess that's protruding out, and then after that I'm going to wait for it to fully cure and then sand the seams and finish sand everything, and then it'll be ready for oil.
So we're down to 4 hours left of daylight on our very last day up here in Washington, and starting to, I think, finally feel real a little bit. Don't really know what else to say. Thoughts seem to be all over the place a little bit, of being excited for what comes next, but also sad for what we're leaving behind, and you know, being out here and the you know, not having a yard or anyone tell us what we can and can't do has been really nice, and not having rent to pay has also been really nice. But at night it's already dropping down into the 40s, and it doesn't really warm up till about like 8-9 o'clock, and then the sun's already setting at, like, I think it's down to 6:58 p.m. and it just feels like 4 days ago it didn't go down until 10 p.m. So it's, you know, it's kind of a nice reminder that the season does change awfully quick, and it won't be too long, you know, 2 months I think after we leave, that there'll be snow on the ground here. So it's kind of a trip. Packing up the truck, boat's pretty much packed. All of Garrett's wood is pretty much packed.
Up next, the truck arrives and we start the near 700-mile trek to where the sun always shines.